What if I told you you could undo years of not training or eating properly and get a new physique in 100 days? Sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? But a couple of years ago, I lost 15 kg and got in the best shape of my life. Since then, maintaining it has been easy. So today I'm going to show you the exact training split, nutrition plan, and mindset shifts that made it possible for me, so you can do this as well. To start, I'm going to show you how to stop making the same mistake I did, because it'll save you so much time. I'd already spent thousands of hours training at this point, but I got a new t-shirt for golf, smart one, and I was thinking, I'm going to look good in that. So I was excited when it arrived, but when I put it on, it was just a slap in the face. It looked like a crop top. It was hugging me man boobs. My belly was popping out. I looked like the kind of guy who'd sink 16 beers in a vest. And I thought, what am I doing all this training for? Because this is shit. I'm not happy. So I went back to the drawing board and realised, first of all, the type of training that I'm doing isn't optimal for aesthetics, which is having a visually pleasing physique. I know that's subjective. Everyone's opinion's different, but there's general shapes that we are attracted to. And the way I was eating to support this kind of training won't do jack shit for getting rid of the moobs or the belly. But once I changed these, I finally got some confidence back because I was looking and feeling much better. And just a quick one, I've put together a free 14-day fat loss program based on this result. If you want to have a look, the link's in the description. So the first problem was I got inspired by the wrong thing. There's people who train on social media who look how you want to look, and no matter what they do, even if it's something you previously had no interest in or thought it was shit, well, they can influence you to copy them. Think of High Rocks, CrossFit, or runners who are jacked. But for me, it was Olympic weightlifting, which I discovered through watching CrossFit years ago. I was looking at some of these athletes thinking, I want to look like that. And I got pulled down a 4-year rabbit hole, which I don't regret. By the way, it was a great experience. But here's the thing, these types of training aren't directing at building muscle in the way which we're thinking about, which is aesthetically changing your shape. Bigger shoulders, bigger arms, smaller waist, like things like that. Even if the people you're looking at doing the thing clearly look great, there's too many other factors involved. We've had loads of online clients who start Peak Physique, which is our 12-week transformation program. They're training 5 days a week, going to all these classes, doing loads of running, and still look average or slightly out of shape. Don't forget that physique inflation is a thing now. We're exposed to unrealistic standards all the time, but still, they're not in the shape you'd expect, really, from someone doing all that work. And if this is you, you'd be better backing off for a bit and focusing more on physique development. I'll show you what my version of this looked like to get this result. When I went from this kind of training to this, that's when my shape started to change. All physique development is a version of bodybuilding, but we're not going as deep as bodybuilders do, focusing on every minute detail of the body. I think that's an unhealthy pursuit for most of us here, but we are taking the best bits and blending it with some other things. Mobility is your range of motion, but it's also your range of options. If you can't move well, then you're really limiting your selection of exercises. So being mobile in your hips and shoulders and back is important, not just for training. And 5 to 10 minutes a day or at the start of your session can make a difference in your movement abilities. The next thing I added in, which I hope you will as well, was a combat sport. I think it's important that as men, we should know how to punch, kick, or grapple. I hope we never have to use it in a real life situation, but as a man with a family, you don't want anyone fucking with you, and being able to defend yourself, or at least have a go, is a primary skill that a lot of guys overlook. You don't have to sign up for a tournament or anything like that, just learn. During this, I ate pads once a week and I loved it. It's a different kind of fitness, so invest in yourself and hit some pads or learn jiu-jitsu. With the training split, I went from 6 sessions a week to 4 sessions a week. Even though it's less lifting, I filled those other days with the Thai boxing session and the separate cardio day. So it's still a lot of work. You could do some of those on the same day, so you do actually get more days off, but it just depends on your schedule. This was the split, 2 upper body and 2 lower body. Reps were in the range of 8 to 10 and 12 to 15. That's it. Simple, really. And most of them were done with a 3-second eccentric, which is the lowering phase. I purposely did slower eccentrics because all my movements were focused on speed for the past 4 years. So this was a nice change and my body responded well to it. If your gym isn't busy, you could superset everything and save yourself a lot of time. That's what I did, apart from leg days. This helped me build muscle, even though it's less, because the work was more optimized for growth as opposed to just throwing a weight above my head. If you look at High Rocks workouts, this isn't something that's going to build your body. It's going to get you fit. You're going to burn a lot of calories, and your shoulders and legs might burn doing 100 wall balls. But this kind of stress isn't the best for changing your shape. But as the thing, all of this still would have been useless if I didn't follow a nutrition plan. At this point, I was eating a lot of food because the guys I was watching who I wanted to look like were lifting big weights, and being a heavier body weight is great for strength. So I thought eventually my body will just mold into this really muscular but also ripped physique. 4 years later, I recorded myself lifting one day with my top off because I wanted to study technique, but I also thought I was going to look cool like the guys I've been watching. 10 to 12 hours of training a week for this. Fucking hell. Honestly, it's funny to me now, but my heart sank when I watched this for the first time. It proper hurt me because I've been working so hard. But that's why this video was so special to me, because it was at this point where I made the decision to change everything. So the next step in this system is creating a nutrition plan that gets you ripped. First thing we need is a timeline. Fat mess, wedding, 100 days. If I don't succeed, I'm probably going to get shit-faced before the speech and bring shame to the entire family. Now, you don't want to be one of those dickheads who start off too hot and cut out carbs completely or something stupid like that. You don't need to eliminate anything. You just need the right ratio of these, which added up equates to total calories. In the first 4 weeks, I ate around 2,300 calories, which coming down from over 3,000 helped me lose the first 5 kg pretty quickly. But then it slowed down, which is normal because you're a lighter body weight now, so you need less calories to have the same effect. And the smart thing to do would be drop another 200 calories and see how that plays out. But I just said, fuck it, and went down to 1,900. But I felt good. I was seeing my body tighten up. My waist was getting smaller, but my chest and shoulders were getting bigger. It was extremely motivating to see these changes within a few weeks. And because I documented this entire process, I made a few meal plans to help me along the way. They're in the 14-day fat loss program if you need some ideas. Now, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. The last 3 or 4 weeks was really fucking hard because you're close to the finish line, but it still feels proper far away because every day is difficult now. I'd do an hour walk of an evening where part of my route would be to meet my wife Vanessa after she finished work. By the time I met her, when we were walking home, I was exhausted. My brain couldn't even register what she was saying most of the time. I was shit company, put it that way. And I really wanted more food at this point, but I stayed strong. And I know that doesn't sound healthy, but this is the shit we've got to do to get a massive result like this in a short time frame. And it paid off because after 10 weeks on 1,900 calories, 15,000 steps a day, and lots of training and cardio, I took this picture 3 days before the wedding. I did it. Got married feeling like an absolute stud. Still got shit-faced, but it was a celebratory drunk, not a down and dumps one. So the nutrition, the steps, the training, those were the key players to this transformation. But the most important one that solidifies this result is your mindset. Because on days when you're tired, that's when the voice telling you to quit or even just slack off on things gets stronger. Before you know it, you're not doing as many steps, you stop tracking meals, you're getting takeaways on a weekend, you're slowly going backwards while justifying it to yourself. So you've got to have solid reasons for doing this if you want to make it from start to finish. But I'd honestly say the best thing you can have for this entire process is being accountable to someone. Even though I'm a coach, I asked Chris to help me out. So at the end of the week, he'd ask me to send him screenshots of my MyFitnessPal. As soon as he said this, there was absolutely no chance I was going to get to the end of the week and say to him, oh, I didn't manage to track this week because I had so much on. As soon as someone is checking in on me like that, I'm going to do the work. This is the main reason we get these kind of results on the program. There's no special workout or new diet. I mean, the systems we've got in place make it clear and easy to follow, but it's the human connection with someone who's done it before and someone who's helped regular people do it as well. Because PTs are notorious for living a shallow, unrelatable life. We've all got kids in here. We're knackered. We know what it feels like. Accountability is the fastest and easiest way you can get a transformation like this for yourself. So now you know exactly what it takes to lose a load of body fat and build muscle in 100 days. But here's the thing, if you don't know how to maintain it, you'll undo all your progress and go back to square one. So watch this video next where I'll show you how to stay lean for good.